everybody. This is Wendy Lovejoy of the YellowLetterMentoring.com, and today we are bringing you a free live training on your real estate investing course. So thank you, Anthony. I see you. So real estate investing, we are going over the topics of somebody else has joined us. So welcome everybody, whether I see you or not. Welcome to today's training. This is the free real estate live training. And I don't get to see everybody that joins in, but welcome everybody. I hope you get something out of this training. Today we are talking about real estate. And I know some people follow me here and they take tips to use in their own business, but I really want to speak to people that are considering real estate or real estate investing as a platform of, bringing in more money and also changing their lifestyle. So we're going to talk about real estate investing. This is not the prayer call. This is real estate investing. And as people continue to join us, I'm going to keep this topic short. I have one of my students who enrolled in the program, needs a little bit of mentoring and has some people that are, hey Daphne. So one of my students, as I said, when you enroll in our coaching programs, as you talk to sellers, whether they're motivated or not, I will speak with you personally about your deal. So I have a student who got started, I would say less than a month ago, and she followed the marketing system that we offer her. And thank you, Daphne. And she followed the marketing system that we offered her, and she was able to get more than 7 people to call her back. And so tonight I'm going to spend about 15 minutes with her going over each client, prospective seller that she is talking with to see which ones are really motivated, so then I can teach her how to do that herself. So I'm very, very excited about that. I love when people connect and their lives change and they start really understanding real estate the way they should, and they use it to change their lifestyles. So if you're following me or watching this for the very first time, my name is Wendy Lovejoy, and I have been in the real estate industry now about 28 years. I raised my kids on real estate. I have mentored and coached a lot of people. I've closed every type of transaction you can think of, and I'm proud of that because when I first got started, I knew nothing about real estate. So some of the things I'm going to share with you tonight are the things that transformed my life. One of the things that I did is I always tell you guys, figure out your why. If you don't have a strong why, you're going to move like your hustle doesn't count, and you're going to expect to get paid like you were grinding when you weren't. So I really encourage you to pay attention to what it is that you want in real estate. Why did you choose real estate as an agent or an investor? What were you looking to accomplish in your life with that platform? And then once you get a strong why, don't get caught up in I want to wholesale or I want to become the #1 listing agent. First figure out your why, and then your why will make you define all the other things that I'm about to speak to you about. Once you know exactly what it is that makes you not happy about your life, what it is that you really want to change about your life, your lifestyle, your income, then the things that I'm going to speak to you about tonight, you're going to embrace them. But if your why is not really connected to real estate, you're going to take your time in trying to blow up or pretend you're having success when you're not, and you're going to follow people, but you're not going to be active. So your why is very, very important, and having a why that is connected to people is even more important than just having a why. If you say, like, I got into real estate so I can make $2,000 a month, well, what is $2,000 a month going to change for you that it hasn't already changed? What is it about your lifestyle that's going to increase? So, and who is going to be affected by you making that extra 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 or more a month? Because if you don't have other people that you really care about seeing them change, you're not going to want to continue moving forward in your real estate career. You're going to, just go up and down like the cycles of real estate. You're in, you're out, you accept what's happening. And I remember when I first got started, I interviewed a few brokers, and I decided, after hearing from 11 people that Chuck McGill had trained them, I found him and I asked him to train me. And simultaneously, I had read the Robert Allen book. And so, knowing that he was the best I could get access to, I went and found them. So we're talking about the top 13% in real estate. Out of every 100 people, 13% succeed. Thank you for the thumbs up. 13% succeed out of every 100 that invest in getting their real estate license, or 100 that say, I want to become an investor. 13 succeed, and out of that 13, a handful become top producers. It is like acting. There are so many people that get into acting, but some of them you never hear about them. I look at old movies. I love old movies. And when I look at old movies, I look at people that were in the background that nobody even knows their names, but they really thought one day they were going to have, amazing careers in the movie industry. I remember seeing Denzel Washington in his first play in New York. I love plays. And so who he became, the star that he is, took a lot of work, and because he sacrificed, he committed, he invested in the thing that I'm going to tell you is number one. And when people come to him and say, Denzel, I want to be a top actor, he goes, go and find my friend Tasha Smith and join her acting class. Invest in yourself. Find a mentor. Top producers, the people that make it to the top of the 13%, they understand that when they connect with a mentor, they're not doing it for the mentor. They're doing it for their why. If you have a strong why, you will not try to do this by yourself. Try to save money. You think you're saving money when you don't choose a mentor. You think you're saving money when you read the recipe and you try to do it all by yourself. So the number one thing top producers understand is they need a mentor. And if you're spiritual like me, you understand that even Jesus had a mentor. Everybody who has success chooses a mentor. Denzel Washington took a lot of acting classes. He had a mentor. At one time, the greatest influence that he had was, oh my God, I can see his face, the producer that did the movie that he was in, a few of the movies that he was in, and the one that I loved the most when he played Malcolm X. So you need to have a mentor. So mentorship, you've got to change how you look at mentorship. Finding out that the 11 people, out of all the people I interviewed when I wanted to become an agent, finding out that most of them had a mentor, because I lived in the South Bronx, and I found out, I would read the Sunday newspaper, and I saw in the Sunday newspaper that people that were like the wealthiest black neighborhood in New York at the time was Cambria Heights. And I said, well, I don't have any money now, but I want my kids to grow up in that neighborhood. So I needed to find a real estate office in that area. So I invested in my real estate license, and you couldn't even go to real estate school until you had a broker. Now they do it backwards. You go to real estate school and then you find a broker. So even when my daughter became a broker, I had her an agent, I had her interview different offices, and I wanted her to make sure she connected with an office that offered a lot of training. If you look at a doctor is not going to become a doctor unless he is practicing or in somebody's office that is helping him to and being responsible for him. Nowadays, brokers don't always really mentor you as they should, because some people have huge offices and some people don't. They feel like you have to figure out your mentoring for yourself. When I had my offices in New York, or at one time I had more than one office in New York, I would make sure that my agents had to come in for training. If you gave me that, I'm an independent contractor, I don't have to come, well, I don't have to train you. Because if you don't get the training, you're putting yourself in problems. If you don't respect somebody mentoring you, guiding you, I always ask people, the job you're in, how did you get it? Who helped you to get it? Who helped train you when you got it? So I don't understand when people say, I want to have major success in real estate and I think I can get all the information for free. I can look it up, I can Google the information, I can buy books. And the thing is, you're going to understand things from your own understanding. I have a workbook that people get when they join the Yellow Letter Mentoring Program, and I can just give them the workbook, but they won't understand all the concepts if they don't have mentorship. Because if you're coming from another industry, you don't understand the concepts of real estate. And if you've been in real estate but you're not having success, you still don't understand the concepts of real estate. So I promise you, if you invest in mentorship, whatever mentor you feel will stretch you, that's the mentor I want you to connect with. Whatever mentor you feel you can have access to, and ask them questions as you need those questions answered, I want you to invest in that mentor. This is not to say that you have to invest in the Yellow Letter Mentoring Program, but I'm saying to you, find a mentor that you have access to. In whatever state you're in, don't look for somebody who only comes in and does this 3-day seminar and then you pay $40,000, $50,000 and they disappear. And they don't even show up to do the seminar themselves. They send other people. You want somebody that you have access to that is still doing real estate themselves. If they're not current in real estate, if they're not building relationships, if they're not letting you have access to them, it's going to be very hard for you to really appreciate their mentorship. So the number one thing top producers embrace before anything is they choose to embrace in mentorship. They want mentorship, because the other thing that help mentorships help mentoring them helps them accomplish is a mindset shift. Whatever industry you're coming from, when you get into real estate, you definitely have to change how you think. You have to, especially as a real estate investor, you can't look at your money, your credit, your relationships in real estate the same. You've got to build teams. You've got to go from being a one-man person to building a team that works for you. You got to go from trying to keep all the money in your pocket and getting a team that you break off a piece of your business with so that they can have some success and income as well. Hey, Calvin. So you definitely want to make sure that you are embracing a mentor and then embracing changing how you think. Be open to changing how you think, because your thinking has brought you to this place in life. Pastor A.R. Bernard always says, you live the level of life that you're living because of the information you've embraced. And embrace doesn't mean just taking it on and reading it. It means taking it and using it and making it a part of yourself. When I got into real estate, I was very broken. I had a lot of personal stuff going on in my life. but I knew I wanted to give my children a really amazing lifestyle. And the people that were living the way I wanted myself and my kids to live, they were in real estate. So I began to watch them, and because we didn't have internet at that time, this was in the late 80s, early 90s, we didn't have internet. So, and you know, I had to read books, go to the library, read the newspaper, and I didn't even know anybody in real estate, but I knew what I wanted to accomplish, and the why was my children. So I was willing to take a train from South Bronx to Queens, New York, and get off the train and then walk over to Hillside Avenue and you know, get training from that my broker at that time, Chuck McGill. I've had one broker in my life, but because I invested a lot in him training me, I made sure I was at every meeting he held. I made sure I didn't battle him, but I listened to what he was saying. And if he said, you need to invest in this book, I would. You need to get this tape, I would get it. You need to get this training, I would get it. And in less than a year, I had my own office, and he and I remained friends until he closed down all his offices and gave me everything he had collected, because he understood, even though he had thousands of agents over the years, he said I was the one that most appreciated the information and became a top producer strategically. I came in not knowing anything, but I began to change how I thought, because some of the things he said to me made no sense to me. But I said, this man lives in you know, on the water on Northern Boulevard. He has the penthouse. When you're passing not Northern Boulevard, but there's used to be a park, Northern Boulevard, there's a park around there, and it's on the water. It's I'll think of the name in a minute, but he lived in that area, and so he had the penthouse suite, and so he knew what he was doing, and he had 5 real estate offices, and he really was very productive. He had a huge name in ERA. People really respected him and all that kind of stuff. So I said, you know, I really want to do I really want him to mentor me, because he has all the things I'm trying to get. He's living the life I'm trying to get. So I listened to him, and the way I thought about business and real estate, and you know, and being trained and all of that, and learning scripts and dialogues, and how many people I had to speak to a day, how many motivated sellers, farming area, everything. He changed my mindset. And so I share that information with you guys. Mindset is very, very important. You got to get to the point, if you want to be a top producer, to embrace being uncomfortable. If you want to stay comfortable, you want to stay thinking and keeping the schedule you have, you're going to end up making the money you're making now. And you're going to end up with the same level of expertise. You're going to end up with the same level of followers, the same level of production. If you want to make your name bigger in real estate, you've got to be willing to embrace a bigger mindset shift. The other thing you want to look at in real estate to become successful is marketing. Marketing. You've got to constantly market. You got to look at yourself as a brand. You got to understand you're a brand. You've got to learn how to market to the point that your business become monetized. There's a science, there is a system, there is a step-by-step that you must learn, and you got to do it piece by piece, layer by layer. You don't become a success overnight, but when you take the time to study your industry, to study whatever your mentor gives you, to change your mindset, and then you work on a marketing campaign. It doesn't matter if it's yellow letters or postcards or even real estate agents. The real estate agents I train and mentor, I normally ask them, what marketing campaign are you doing? And they're usually doing what their office offers them. And the office marketing, whether it's Keller Williams, ERA, virtual properties, whatever it is, they normally focus on the brand name, and then they insert your name into it, but it basically gives very bland marketing tips. It doesn't really talk about you. Whether you're a real estate investor or a real estate agent, you need to market so that you are the brand, or not just your properties. Very, very important. So, number one, if you're a wholesaler, if you're an investor, you need to do certain marketing. It doesn't change. Don't come into real estate and want to change the game. You got to follow the system first, and then the things that work, work them, and the things that don't, that's what you have to change. But don't change the game. Don't come into real estate and it's a chess game, but then you want to use checker mindset. You got to learn the chess game, and then once you learn it, then you can change what you don't like about it. So one of the things an investor has to do is constantly market. If you're going to be on social media, you should be in at least 3 real estate groups. And I say don't do too much more than that, because if you're in an online group, whichever ones you choose, and you're not vocal, you're wasting your time there. So if you're not making comments on the posts, and like even if you're in the Yellow Letter Mentoring Facebook page, the open page, if you're in that page and we post something and you never comment, you're not getting your name to be seen. Whatever organizations you belong to online, make positive comments, and then people will come to your page, and then you build your following. Another thing you want to do as a real estate investor and or agent, you need to go to the meetups, the RIAs in your area when they have an event. Show up. We have RIA meetings in New York and Atlanta, and people show up, and they usually find that they understand real estate a lot more because of the way we talk to them one-on-one when they show up. We don't charge them for that. We want people to understand what they're doing in real estate. So we share the information, because the best consumers and informed consumers. So I want to do business with people that are investing and understanding real estate. So we educate those that show up to our meetup. So join a RIA, join a meetup. And then also make sure, hey Sharon, make sure that you are also, bringing your listing information when you come out. If you have a property you're trying to get rid of, take a minute and create a flyer. Bring the flyer. Make sure your phone number and your contact information is very important. And put the things that other investors are going to be looking at. Like, what is the price of the property? What's the rehab? What's the square footage? What's been done on it? What area is in it? If there's any terms or anything you want to share. Put enough information that somebody can say, I want to come look at this property, and your phone number is strong enough that they see it. Another thing that you have to do with marketing as a real estate investor is some states don't allow bandit signs, but you need to put out bandit signs. If they don't allow it in your state, you can put them online. You can put them on Craigslist, but you need people to know that you are a real estate investor. If you're an agent, you need people to know you're an agent. You need to put that stuff out there so people are looking to call you back. And that's how you're going to get your name out there. You've got to constantly increase your marketing budget. And if you come into real estate, don't come in and say, you know what, I paid for this course, or I paid to get my license, I'm not paying for anything else. You're cutting your chances of being a top producer. And if you're not coachable, if you come in and you say, I'm going to do it my way. When I see people that connect, even when I was the marketing director at Georgia RIA, and they had about 3,000 members.
Purchase